everyone, and welcome to another Flatpicking and Bluegrass Guitar Lesson. And in this video I want to talk about the E chord, the A chord and the D chord. And I want to show you how much those three fingerings have in common. There are so many symmetries that we can take advantage of when we are soloing. And so grab your guitar and let's get started. Okay, first of all, let's have a look at, if we play the root of the E chord, the last string, right after that string below the root we have a B note, and that's the fifth of the E triad. Okay? And now the same is happening when we play the A chord. Doesn't matter which fingering you usually use. Anyway, if you play the root of the chord, the string below, right there, that's an E note, and that's the fifth again. And guess what? When we go to D, this is the root, the D string, and right below we have the fifth of the D triad. Okay, that's an A note. And that's a nice coincidence, right? Now let's keep going. If we play the root, now the fifth, and we keep going, so, and now we play the string below the fifth, that's the root again, just an octave higher. Okay, so root, fifth, root. And if we play the A chord, same, root, fifth, root. Okay, that's an octave, right? And if we play the D chord, root, fifth, and root again. Okay, now this is almost like an arpeggio. We're missing the third, right? Where is the third for the E chord? Well, it's on the last string at the 4th fret, G sharp, E, G sharp, B, that's the E triad. And now we have an E arpeggio, root, third, fifth, root, and again. Okay, just play that. And just remember that the third is on the same string as the root, fretted at the 4th fret. Now we can duplicate that for the A chord. This is the root, and if we fret that string at the 4th fret, that's the major third of the A triad. That's interesting, right? So same fingering, just a different set of strings. E triad, arpeggio, A triad. Okay, and now if we move to the D fingering, same, just the same as usual. This is the root, this is the third, this is the fifth, and that's the root again. And that's the D arpeggio. So now we have 3 arpeggios, right, that are very, very easy to remember. We just need to move from one fingering to the next. Okay? And just remember that the third, major third, is right there at the 4th fret. And now let's have fun with those 3 chords and those notes. And let's say we have this kind of chord progression: 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we can go. You do it. So simple, right? And what's next? Well, maybe we can play the root twice, something like that. Or maybe we can embellish that third with a little slide from 1 fret below. So I'm sliding from the 3rd to the 4th fret using my ring finger. And of course I can play that little idea over the A chord. the D chord. You see how simple is that? Maybe I can play a hammer-on instead of a slide. I can go. Okay, just using the arpeggio with a hammer-on. So that's the major third, right? And the note right before one fret lower is called flat third. And we can always embellish the major third with the flat third. In other words, that's the neighborhood note that we can always use to land on the major third when we are soloing and playing a break. Okay, let's do another example now using the 4/4 time signature. Key of A. Let's say we have a chord progression like this: A 1 bar, D for 1 bar, A for 1 bar, and E. Okay, and this is the A arpeggio, right? D arpeggio and E arpeggio. Okay, now we just need to find a little simple phrase that works over the A chord, and then we duplicate that phrase for the D chord and for the E chord. Maybe we can play something like this. Okay, well, I'm starting my phrase with the hammer-on, the flat third to the major third, right? And then I go to the fifth, back to the major third, flat third, second, root. Let's try together. That's my phrase. Okay. Now I just need to duplicate that phrase over the D chord and over the E chord. Okay, let's put it all together. 3, 4. Okay, so this is just another example. Of course, you can start your phrase from the root, from the third, from the fifth. For example, that's another simple idea, starting from the fifth of the arpeggio, of the A arpeggio, right? Play the fifth, hammer-on, flat third to the major third, fifth again, and root. Okay, so yeah, just experiment with those notes and see if you can find a phrase, and then you duplicate the same phrase over the other chords. And I think this is fun. It's an excellent exercise to get familiar with those 3 chords and those 3 arpeggios. And now it's your turn. Have fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this little short video lesson. And if you did, just give this video a like and then subscribe to my channel. And if you want to have more lessons, just go to my website, www.robertodallavecchia.com, or join my instructional channel on TrueFire Flatpicking Experience. You will find all of the links down right in the description of this video. And of course, you are welcome to join my mailing list to stay updated. I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao!